Totem pole, 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 totem pole.
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere.
Recording live from somewhere, Life Lessons Podcast. This episode is dedicated to the GOAT. Jim McNally, the greatest offensive line coach of all time. MK is in the house. MK, this is for you.
MK is in the house.
Football Beast Productions. You are a beast. Football Beast Productions. This is from Totem Pole to you. I named this show Jim McNally, the greatest O-line coach of all time. And yesterday was a monumental day, Lambeau, for Totem Pole Nation. I finally got my cool clinic gear. Coaches of the offensive line. Anybody knows me loves, I love mushrooms. But why is Jim McNally the greatest offensive line coach of all time? Coach Lambeau.
When you look at Jim McNally, EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25, EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden 04, whatever year that you want to play, because the older Madden games are better. When it comes to Jim McNally, man, he is a legend. He changed the game for the offensive line when it came to football. He changed the game. Not only did he change the game, he been a part of a couple Super Bowl teams. I think one of them was against the 49ers, if I'm correct. One of them, he was also part of the Super Bowl team against the Giants in the 2000 season, and he just had a great run. I mean, this guy, before he went to NFL, he was at Buffalo, Marshall, Boston College, and Wake Forest. So when it comes to Jim McNally, I mean, it's about the four. I look at it like this. I look at it from not only from him being the greatest, but it's called bringing people with you. You know what I'm saying? Getting that knowledge, learning how to, be the mentor and actually caring about the players. So when I look at Jim McNally as one of the greatest offensive line coaches in the world, because like I said, when it comes to the offensive line, it comes down to, what you do at the line of scrimmage. And I think what you do at the line of scrimmage is the most important thing in America. So Jim McNally is one of the greatest of all time. He's definitely in the Hall of Fame in my book. And like I said, this is great. And look at that letter right there. From Coach McNally to Coach Troy Taylor. O-line play. The first trends are the fastest trends, the latest trends in offensive line play.
Yeah.
So Coach Taylor, what does Jim McNally what does Jim McNally mean to you, and how did he help you become a better coach and a better man?
Coach McNally taught me that you got to give back. You got to help others. You got to build champions. And you don't charge them. You do it for free because you do it because you love it. And Coach Jay Freeman from Seattle, Washington, told me yesterday, Troy, when you got Jim McNally on Twitter, you brought Jim McNally to a whole new generation of people. And he didn't charge anybody. He did it for free. There's all these guys out there that will teach you how to be successful on YouTube. They will teach you how to be a content creator, but you have to pay them $500 to $5,000 a year. One guy is charging $1,000 an hour to meet with him. He claims that he is the right-hand man to Mr. Beast. All right, so if you're the right-hand man to Mr. Beast, do you need $1,000 an hour? If you know YouTube so well, why do you have to charge people? is it a secret? Jim McNally is the greatest of all time, not because who he coached or how he coached. It's that he's the greatest of all time because he has helped others. He has given back. All right, so I'm looking at what's trending today on this Monday, July 22nd. Joe Biden has been searched 10 million times on Google. Biden drops out of the 2024 race and endorses Harris. Kamala Harris, the vice president, is running for president. Wow. Can you believe that Biden has been searched 10 million times? MK says, I'm so sad. My school starts Wednesday. Wow. This is for you. Why doesn't the government just let these kids be kids rather than going to school year round? Lambo, are you surprised that the number one searched word in the United States is Biden?
No, I'm not surprised at all. Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race. He's getting older, and not to make fun of his health, but he just looked like he was on crack. And to be honest, but I guess we know for a fact that the next president is probably going to be Donald Trump because I don't know if any other presidential candidate can compete with them. So he dropped out of the presidential race, and it was, I guess, after they had the little one-on-one thing, the presidential campaign or whatever. I think it was like after the second day of the NBA draft or whatever. I'm not surprised he dropped out, but when you're a politician and you're a president right now in America, everything's gonna be trending. Everybody watches you, so that's why you got to be careful what moves you make. But he's getting older. He's 80-something years old, 81 years old. I'm not surprised. But like I said, he's not Jim McNally. Jim McNally's 80 years old and is more healthier than Joe Biden.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, Josh Shapiro. I don't even know who Josh Shapiro is, but Josh Shapiro is a top contender for vice president and endorses Kamala Harris as the president. So EA Sports, College Football 25, Jim McNally, the legendary GOAT NFL line coach, Buffalo, New York, Cincinnati Bengals, the Buffalo Bills, the Carolina Panthers, the New York Giants. We had to give him a shout out. We had to say thank you to Jim McNally for treating us with so much respect. He has 2 totem pole hats in his house, a totem pole sports hat and a totem pole nation hat. Lambo, in the world of sports, USA basketball almost got beat by South Sudan. What life lesson can you take from that experience?
So I look at it from this perspective. When it comes to the USA, they're not good at basketball no more. I'm not going to say they're not good, but they can't dominate like they used to. It's not the dream team of Magic and Michael and Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas. And, it's not the old dream team. The problem that we've been talking about is the world has come up to us. Like the people overseas is catching up with our game because when you're bringing in those academies, when you're developing the guys. That's why it's important in college football, NFL, and developing the players. When you develop the players and they stick in an academy and they stay in that one system for 7 to 8 years and they practice more than they actually play the game, they caught up with us. So, I mean, like I said, we got saved because, LeBron James is one of the greatest players in his generation right now. But Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever live. So we got away with that. I think the game of basketball has changed because it's not a lot of fundamentals. It's all about 3-point shooting and all this other stuff. So I think when it comes to at the end of the day, um, will the USA win? I mean, I don't know. It's an exhibition game, but what the man from Seoul said is an exhibition game, but I said it could be the biggest upset in America, even as an exhibition game, because people are going to talk about it. It's like, what is wrong with the USA and why they're not as good? I don't know if the difference of coaching is between, Steve Kerr just took over for Coach K, but the game of basketball is different. Everybody wants to shoot threes, and Steph Curry did change the game when it came to 3-point shooting. But the game has changed. Nobody wants to get in the paint. Nobody wants to get physical. Everything is about AAU basketball related, which is jacking threes. And then when you watch people overseas, they have real fundamentals. They have real tall people, tall guys. That's why the first draft picks in the NBA draft were from France and other countries, just because they stayed in that system for 7 to 8 years. They play against grown people and it developed. So I mean, am I panicking? No, I'm not really panicking, but I won't be surprised if they don't win. I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, this is LeBron's last year, so he's not going to go to the Olympics in 2028.
No, he'll be in a wheelchair by then. Madden says, is it true that Coach McNally taught Chuck Norris foot fire? Yes. Chuck Norris learned from two of the GOATs, Bruce Lee and Jim McNally. Madness says, dude, that USA squad looks like they haven't been doing much film study. Ooh, yeah. Lambo, a.k.a. Lambo Belichick, is big into film study. And the USA basketball team has not been doing film study. Madness says, good morning, Totem Pole Nation. Cup of coffee for the big time. Thank you, Madness, for chiming in. Today, we're talking a little bit about sports, talked about USA basketball. College football 25, Lambo. I got my first opportunity to play college football 25. And some people are saying that college football 14 is better than college football 25. My son has found a glitch. People are saying that this game is glitchy. Do you agree with some of the people that are saying that college football 25 from EA Sports Electronic Arts is glitchy? And did you not call this? You said they don't take time making games anymore.
I've seen some glitches all over the internet on YouTube. YouTube's the best live streaming platform of all time. Also on TikTok, there's some glitches as well. There's a glitch in everything. But I don't pay attention to those glitches because if I'm playing NCAA sports, EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 25, by the way, EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 26 is going to come out anyway. But I like the grind on the game, especially when it comes to Road to Glory, Dynasty. I like to take my time and grind it. Mainly when you have glitches, that means people are trying to cheat their way into the game. Like there's some glitch where you can cheat your overall from like a 76 to a 99 if you do recruiting a certain way, and then if you play the game a certain way. I that's nice and all. That's to get your attention from YouTube and whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't really mind, the glitches or whatever. I don't think it's glitchy. I just don't think your son has played the game long enough. And I guess playing it on Xbox and PlayStation, I know they're the same. The different consoles are the same buttons, except, X, Y, A, B, C, whatever it is. But, you just got to play the game a little bit long enough. I think so far I put at least 35 to 40 hours into the game so far. So, I mean, I guess it just comes down to playing the game more and getting more into the modes instead of the play now. Doesn't really matter what you do with it, but I guess you just gotta get more playing time of EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 25. But the game's way better than 14. There's things in the game that you couldn't really do in 14, and the recruiting part, in Dynasty and the recruiting part in Road to Glory, it's very important. I understand they don't have mascot matchup and all that other stuff, but maybe they'll bring it back. They'll bring it back in EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 26, and I'll be the first one to say it.
College football 25, NCAA 25, EA Sports Electronic Arts is the number one selling game of all time. And Bill Best told me that game is the most accurate game ever made. That he went down and sat for 6 hours with the guy that made the game and went over every player on their roster, went over everything in the game. And are you surprised that Bill Best was involved with the making of this game, Lambo?
No, Bill Best is one of the greatest offensive line coaches at the University of Colorado State. I'm not very surprised. I've already knew that Colorado State and Colorado's playbook were very the same. I've already played with Colorado State. I just did it off stream. I know the talent is not as great as Colorado's talent, but the playbook is the same. The defensive playbook, I think, is somewhat similar in the game anyway, so I'm not very surprised. The only difference is the talent and the quarterback. Not saying the quarterback is bad. I'm just saying in the actual video game when you played it, I played Colorado and Colorado State, both teams. But just the algorithm, YouTube and whatever, I thought it'd be easier to play, Colorado Dynasty just because, Coach Prime, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, Shiloh Sanders, get some little publicity out of here, some publicity out there, which it already is. Respect the Colorado State and what they've done. They competed with Colorado last year, but I think this year's game is going to show. And I'm a big fan of Bill Best. I'm a big fan of Jay Norvell, of what the culture he is bringing to Colorado State Rams. And I'm going to pick Colorado State. And I've already said this, and I'm going to say it again. EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 25. I picked Colorado State to beat Texas week 1. And I picked Colorado State to beat Colorado in week 3. EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 25. Jay Norvell, the head coach of the Colorado Rams. Bill Best, the offensive line coach for the Colorado Rams. Coach Prime, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, Shiloh Sanders. That is going to be a matchup for week 3, but week 1, focus on Colorado State versus Texas. I don't care how much talent Texas has. Texas plays down the competition. They play down to competition. I'm not saying Colorado State sucks, but I'm talking about when they go to big-time games, like they beat Alabama last year, they play up. But when they play something like Iowa State or TCU or, the little lower-level teams, it's like they play down. They're going to play down to Colorado State. Bill Best is going to do his magic. Jay Norvell's going to do his magic. The quarterback they have is going to be great. The wide receiver, I think, when I was playing in EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 25, I think his name is Troy Holden or something like that. He was the best. I felt like he was the best receiver in the game. Just throwing it to him a lot. So I feel like he's the best receiver in the game. And look, Colorado State makes noise. Colorado State will be bowl eligible.
Yes. I mean, you said it the best, that receiver's nasty. And Jay Norvell, I didn't know this until just the other day. Jay Norvell has coached 3 Hall of Fame wide receivers, which include Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, and Marvin Harrison. Were you aware of this, Lambo?
I was aware of Tim Brown and Marvin Harrison. I was not aware of Jerry Rice. EA Sports Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4. EA Sports Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25, 26. Like I said, those are great talented receivers. Marvin Harrison He has a son, Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the NFL right now, playing for the Arizona Cardinals. Got drafted number 4 overall. EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25. I think Marvin Harrison Jr., he's just like his dad. He doesn't complain. Watching, Hard Knocks on the Giants, when they come and evaluate, the guys before they draft, get to know them and all that stuff. Brian Dable asked him, EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25. New York Giants, they asked him, what do you do if the quarterback throws a bad ball? Marvin Harrison Jr. said it best. Well, I can make a better play on him. He doesn't go to the quarterbacks. He doesn't tell the quarterbacks all the time what to do. He just says, I can get the play better. So Marvin Harrison Jr., the great Marvin Harrison Sr. as well. Great duo for Peyton Manning. Tim Brown, great duo. Jerry Rice, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan, George Seifert, all those guys. When it comes to that, like I said, man, I mean, they're great, man. That's a great generation of talent at the wide receiver position. So I'm not surprised that, former head coaches of college now that became, assistants in the NFL or whatever his resume is, I'm not surprised that he coached 3 Hall of Fame wide receivers because he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. Look at those logos that I just posted behind there. Out of all of those logos, what team would you say has the biggest chance for a breakthrough year out of those logos in the back?
Biggest breakthrough?
Who's somebody that people are sleeping on out of those logos right there?
We're probably covering it up, but I'm gonna say the Missouri Tigers. I'm gonna say Missouri, Eli Drinksworth. They got Brady Cook at quarterback. Ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all this last year. Y'all thought Tennessee was good, and they weren't really good with Joe Milton. Missouri has won 10 games last year. I know they beat Ohio State in a bowl game where Ohio State had players opt out and didn't really have much of a quarterback, and their quarterback went to the transfer portal. He went to Syracuse. But I look at it like this. Missouri is the most slept-on team in the SEC. I mean, they had a couple guys get drafted to the NFL. I think one of them might have been a first-round pick. I think at number 20. I think it was a cornerback or somebody. It might have been a first or second-round pick. Look, this Missouri team can run the football. This Missouri team got great wide receivers. Brady Cook is coming back into the fold. They're going to be great. If you watched the game last year against Georgia, they only lost by 1 score against Georgia. I mean, this team is talented. I know a lot of y'all gonna say A&M because of Mike Elko, and he used to be the DC there before he became a head coach and came back. But we A&M is all hype. I'm not saying that as a bad way, but I need y'all to really pay attention to Missouri. Eli Drinksworth, the head coach. Brady Cook, EA Sports Electronic Arts College Football 25. Y'all should try to play them because they got a great offensive playbook. They're going to have a great running back. They're going to have great wide receivers. I won't be surprised if Missouri wins 10 games again this year.
Wow. Missouri. The Missouri Tigers are the breakout team according to Lambeau. Wow, that's all the national champions since 2016. That's since 2016. The Ivy Leagues really used to dominate. Is Clemson done? Is Dabo Sweeney done in Clemson, South Carolina, Lambeau?
He's not done. I don't think they're gonna fire him, but it's when you lose those key offensive guys. Offensive coordinator Brandon Streeter, you lost him. You also lost Tony Elliott as well. You don't have the quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. They're getting recruits, but Dabo Sweeney just does not appear to believe in the transfer portal for whatever reason. He doesn't believe in the transfer portal. I'm not saying the transfer portal is bad or whatever, but I know he wants to develop his players, and it's going to be hard to develop players in high school, especially with the transfer portal. You can transfer to 4 different schools in 4 years, so it's not about developing anymore. So Clemson, they're not done. I'm not sold on their quarterback in Cade Klubnik just yet. You got Garrett Riley as a new offensive coordinator. He came from SMU under Sonny Dykes, and then when he went to TCU, and when TCU went undefeated that year, or 12-1, and went to the national championship, that's how he got the job, because what he did, what Garrett Riley did in SMU. So Clemson is not done. They need Dallas needs to enter the transfer portal, and they need to. And there's a lot of things that is wrong. Not wrong with that program, but talent wise, they hadn't had a number one wide receiver in a while. And I try to tell Clemson fans, look, the best player last year was the running back, Will Shipley. He went to the NFL. I think he got drafted by the Eagles or somebody. So if your best player last year was your running back, that's kind of an issue. You don't have a primary wide receiver like a Mike Williams or Sammy Watkins or a DeAndre Hopkins like you had back then, and you don't have Trevor Lawrence. You also don't have a Brent Venables. Brent Venables is the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, I don't know if he's going to get ran out, because Oklahoma's in the SEC, and the SEC and the Big 12 are different, and he lost his major quarterback in Dylan Gabriel, who transferred again, went to Oregon. Shout out to Dan Lanning, EA Sports Electronic Arts, College Football 25. But I look at it from a Clemson standpoint. Until they get into the transfer portal and get some guys, they won't win the national championship again, because when you look at the ACC, you look at Florida State, you look at Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell, I think, was an assistant under Justin Fuente. He was the offensive coordinator at Memphis before, he got a shot at Florida State. And they told the fans, said, run out Mike Norvell. They said, no, you don't run out Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell developed. It took 3 years. It took 4 years. You get that development and stuff going on. And look what Florida State is at. They were 13-0. I know that ACC championship game against Louisville, it was a low-scoring game. Jordan Travis tore his ACL. He was hurt, and they may have got screwed out of a college football playoff, in my opinion. But, they did beat Clemson last year. Great quarterback. They got a great defensive line. The recruiting has been great. I just think Florida State wins the ACC. Clemson, I don't see no threat in it right now until they do something.
Madness has a question. Madness says, will Lambeau be live streaming the return of CM Punk on Monday Night Raw? Ooh, yeah. Epic SmackDown podcast he had Friday. Lambeau, I'm down if you're down.
Yeah, I got to see what
Are you
first.
Okay. What time do you get off work?
Whenever it's not busy.
What time does Monday Night Raw come on?
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock on the USA Network.
Raw is war. What's better, SmackDown or Raw is war?
It depends. When you look at the rosters, it depends on the talent, because when you look at WWE 2K24 or WWE 2K in general, I know the older WWE games were a lot better, SmackDown versus Raw. It depends on the roster. That's how you got to look at it as. It depends on the roster. It depends on, if you look at numbers, who is the guy. And Roman Reigns was the guy on SmackDown that everybody, watch. Now, Monday Night Raw has great talent. You got Drew McIntyre, you got CM Punk, you got Seth Rollins, you got the Judgment Day. You got a lot of good guys. You got, there's a lot of great talent on Monday Night Raw. You got Braun Breaker and whatever, but SmackDown, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, all those top guys. You look at it from a top guy standpoint. Talent wise, right now, I think Raw has a better talent right now. But CM Punk, he came back. He was from AEW. He came back. Things went wrong, but CM Punk has matured. He's gotten a lot better. CM Punk, invented the pipe bomb, and that pipe bomb match was between John Cena. So CM Punk, he's healthy. I think he hurt himself before WrestleMania. I think in a Royal Rumble match, where it came down to him and Cody Rhodes for the Royal Rumble, and I think maybe if things didn't go the correct way with The Rock, it could have been CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. But I look at this at the end of the day. It's what John Cena said. It's all about storytelling. Like, what story are you willing to tell? And I think this is going to be the greatest SummerSlam match of all time without a title between CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins. That's if Drew McIntyre, comes back from suspension. Watching Monday Night Raw, he didn't apologize. So we'll see. It might be just CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, but I wouldn't be surprised if Drew McIntyre, gets back in, just because between those three, there's a lot of personal things. Both of those guys, and Seth Rollins and CM Punk Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre don't like CM Punk. I'm a big CM Punk fan. He has the best theme song in the WWE. It's not close. It's better than the John Cena one. I'm not disrespecting the John Cena one, but the CM Punk, call to personality, it hits different. It hits different. He engages. He has the crowd. Like CM Punk, besides John Cena and Roman Reigns that stepped up his promo game, CM Punk is the master at promos. He is the legit master, and I kind of can relate to him because he just speaks the truth. He doesn't shy away. But we'll see what CM Punk does. This is going to be the future of the SummerSlam, so we'll figure it out. I wouldn't be surprised if they advertise CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, but Seth Rollins deserves to be in that mix because I don't think he can't go after the title shot of Damian Priest. He can, but it's going to be Gunther versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam. So if you put him in a triple threat match, both of these guys can get their hands on CM Punk, and that's just how it's going to go. But it's going to be very exciting. CM Punk coming back. The Monday Night Raw is going to be in Green Bay, Wisconsin tonight. So I'm very excited to see, and it's just gonna get bigger and better. That's just how it's gonna come down to. Get bigger, better, faster, and stronger.
Yes. And I'm sitting here looking at some news about Major League Baseball and how the LA Dodgers, I guess they're the LA Dodgers still, the LA Dodgers yesterday hit 6 home runs to complete a sweep of the Red Sox. That's Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani. What do you think about that, Lambo? We got some comments here. Let's see. Talonda Truth, Scar is the best O-line coach of all time. Okay. Talon Truth, who is Scar? I'm not familiar with Scar.
He must be talking about Dante Scarnecchia, maybe.
Dante Scarnecchia won 6 Super Bowls.
He must be talking about him. He said Scar because a lot of people don't know how to pronounce.
Ask Dante Scarnecchia who the greatest offensive line coach is. Ask Dante Scarnecchia who he learned from. Madness said Lambo is cooking. Lambo is cooking. Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, 6 home runs. Are you surprised in this, Lambo?
The game of baseball has really changed. There's going to be, like I said, there's 162 games in the MLB season. So there's going to be times where you score 6 home runs. I'm not surprised. The Dodgers have been one of the top teams in the last 2 to 3 years. I think one of them, they went to the World Series, and they may have won the World Series in the last 5-6 years, since 2018 maybe, or maybe a little bit farther. But I'm not surprised. I'm a Red Sox fan. I don't really watch a lot of baseball until the World Series because it's what the man from Soul says. It's past 40 games, but you can't really tell who's going to be good until after the 40 games. But also, I think, in my opinion, you can't really tell who's going to be great until the playoffs. So, I mean, them hitting 6 home runs in August or July, not very surprised. I think the All-Star, ended or about to start or somewhere along the lines. I just look at it from this point. MLB The Show, 2K24, EA Sports, MLB The Show, 2K24. I look at it from this standpoint. We'll see who wins the World Series, but I can't tell you who's going to win the World Series because here's why. With baseball, it's a little bit different because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about strategy because, like I said, baseball is all about what I mean by that when I say it's all about strategy, you're not just hitting homers. And I know sometimes them 0-0 games can be very boring, but also it can be very entertaining to watch. Now, me personally, I can't watch baseball. I'd rather play the video game MLB The Show 2K24, which is playing baseball in the video game is a lot better than watching it for 4 to 5 hours, or go to a baseball game. Go to the MLB baseball game. It's a lot better. Uh, you'll figure out by September who's going to win the World Series, but I don't have an answer for you right now, and I don't want to just say some blasphemous shit off the top of my head.
Yeah. I'm looking here. It says Stargrove. Good morning, coaches. Good morning, Totem Pole Nation. This is for you, Stargrove, for being the star in the Totem Pole universe. All right, here's a headline for today. Today, we have discussed Jim McNally is the greatest O-line coach of all time. And here's the latest headline. The latest headline says, LeBron James, NBA Laker, LeBron James, some people call him the GOAT, others call him La Flop. LeBron to bear Team USA flag at the Paris Olympics. Lambo, how do you feel about LeBron James bearing the flag at the Paris Olympics for Team USA?
Bearing the flag, is you mean like representing?
He's
or
the flag. He's carrying the flag.
Oh, well, I mean, he's LeBron James. I mean, he's just trying to represent his country. But after that game against South Sudan, NBA 2K25, congratulations to Jason Tatum on the cover of NBA 2K25. He's representing his country. Look, Steve Kerr has a lot of respect for LeBron. He became a GM before he became a head coach. NBA, Live 96, or, shout out to Steve Kerr, a former player under Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I look at this from LeBron James, NBA 2K25, NBA 2K20, whatever cover he was on. I look at this from LeBron. Just last year in the Olympics, he going to represent his country the best way he can. But after that game against South Sudan, it's more like a wake-up call. So I'm not mad that he wants to carry the flag. He does what he wants. He wants to bear the flag. That's great. Should somebody else do it? I mean, I don't know who should do it, but it's not my call. I'm not the head coach. I just watch the game. I don't take things into control. I don't worry about what other people do because it's out of my control. So he makes as much money as possible in the NBA. He got his son Bronny in the NBA. And when it comes out to LeBron James, he's the greatest generational player, like right now, as far as the generation. But I'm taking Michael Jeffrey Jordan all the way. And last time I checked with the USA Dream Team, the Redeem Team, or whatever it is, at the end of the day, the Dream Team wouldn't allow South Sudan to beat them by 23 points.
Stargrove.
Go down by 23 and then barely beat them by 1.
I stayed up late watching the EBO 2024 finals last night. And American won the Street Fighter 6 championship. That is a huge deal in the esports world. Stargrove, thank you for sharing that information with us. We want to learn more. I don't know a lot about Street Fighter 6 championship, but you were the one. They have a Street Fighter 2 arcade game in a used video game store we go to in Colonial Heights. Justin, the Terminator Medley, says, Coach Troy, Totem Pole Nation. Mustafa, this is your first time, I believe, on Totem Pole Nation. Good morning from Yonkers, New York. Doc, man, X got you bouncing in here, bouncing in here, bouncing in here. This is for you, Terminator. This is for you, Stargrove. And this is for you, Mustafa from Yonkers, New York. Totem Pole Nation welcomes y'all. John Harbaugh, the NFL Baltimore Ravens coach, passionately defends Lamar Jackson from the criticism the quarterback receives. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but I will find it, but I will paraphrase it. Oh, here it is. He says, there's a lot of great things said about Lamar Jackson, but there's a lot of stuff that said that you just got to scratch your head about and kind of wonder, what's that person even thinking? Harbaugh said Sunday, but we take it personally. Lambo, are you familiar with what went down? Mustaf says, thank you. Welcome to Total Pole Nation. This is for you, Mustaf. We are the low man on the totem pole. We're not ESPN. We're not Fox Sports. We're not even Barstool. All right. We are the low man on the totem pole. We are the common man. You have a voice in totem pole. This is Life Lessons Podcast. We do this Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about life lessons. Today's life lesson was Jim McNally's the greatest O-line coach of all time. I just got back from Buffalo, New York. The inventor of the Cool Clinic, Coach Jim McNally, Anthony Munoz's offensive line coach for 18 years with the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you for coming on, Mustaf. Lambo, are you aware of what occurred in the media about John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, and what is your take on this?
Maybe he receives unfair criticism from my point, but I look at this to be honest because I'm around a lot of Ravens fans, and Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback. Maybe he's one of the greatest in Ravens history. The quote that was in the group chat that you probably should read, it was something positive as well. About Lamar, about what John Harbaugh said about Lamar Jackson. I look at this at the end of the day. The Ravens are a great regular season team. I know they hadn't won the Super Bowl since after Ray Lewis retired, after Joe Flacco, Ray Rice, whatever. Ray Rice might have got suspended before the Super Bowl or after, I'm not sure. But when you look at it from the Ravens, they hadn't been the same team. John Harbaugh is a great coach. He was a special teams coordinator. I think he came from under the Andy Reid tree, if I'm correct. So
Yes,
EA Sports,
special coordinator.
EA Sports Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 21. Lamar Jackson was on the cover of Madden NFL 21. EA Sports Electronic Arts. EA Sports Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 25. I look at it from the Ravens standpoint. Great talent on defense, great quarterback, great running game. They still need to find a number one, number two wide receiver. The wide receiver core is pretty thin. The Ravens are a great regular season team. They're just not good in the playoffs, and I'm not shaming Lamar Jackson for, not making the playoffs or, not winning a Super Bowl. But let's be honest. We said this yesterday. When it comes to the Ravens, great team in the regular season. But when Lamar Jackson needs to make a throw in tight windows, he hasn't shown the ability to do it. I know that one year he got hurt. It was against the Bills in cold weather. And they should have beat the Chiefs last year. Their defense played outstanding, but the offense couldn't do it. And they thought OBJ was a good addition. So they need to figure out some stuff in the wide receiver core. I'm not hating on Lamar Jackson, but the facts speak the facts. The Ravens are not clutch in the playoffs, so you need them to be. They're great picks to win the Super Bowl, but they're not winning the Super Bowl. Here's why. Because the Chargers are probably going to be in the way. The Bengals are probably going to be in the way. The Chiefs are going to get in the way again. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo will be in the way again either. So they just lost a defensive coordinator. Matt McDonald's not the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. They lost Wink Martindale a couple years ago. He's not a defensive coordinator from Michigan. So when I look at it from a Ravens standpoint, the running backs, the most injury-prone team ever. They lost about 4 running backs last year. Mark Andrews was somewhat hurt as well. So they're somewhat similar to the 49ers when it relates to injuries. They get hurt all the time. And I understand that football is a physical sport. But look, whether he gets fair criticism or unfair criticism, I'm not really with that. But I speak the facts and I tell you the truth. And that's why I predict the future of football in the NFL. The Ravens, until Lamar Jackson can make throws in tight windows when it matters, they're not making the Super Bowl anytime soon. They'll just be good enough to be a number 1 or number 2 seed or maybe a number 3 and lose in a playoff game because it comes down to making clutch throws and clutch situations. But that's why Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now.
Howard Schotzky, the
Good
former
morning.
player agent of the one and only Michael Strahan, has joined us from Rockville, Maryland. And John Harbaugh, NFL head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, opens Ravens camp with defense of Lamar Jackson. Howard Schotzky, in your opinion, does the Baltimore Ravens head coach John Harbaugh have to defend his quarterback, Baltimore Ravens superstar, the MVP last year, Lamar Jackson?
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
What more can you do than win MVP?
I guess the Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, but why is he doing this? Is he's taking a stand for his quarterback in the media, something Bill Parcells would do or Belichick?
I didn't really hear any criticism of him.
I think some people are saying he can't get it done. Some people are saying he's a great regular season quarterback, but when the blank hits the fan, he ain't it. That's what people are saying, right, Lambo? What is the criticism of Lamar Jackson?
Well, other than Zay Flowers, who does he have to throw to?
My point said they don't have a number 1 wide receiver, and he can't make throws. He hasn't shown yet that he's able to make throws in tight situations in a playoff game. What happened to watch that Chiefs game? They should have beat the Chiefs. Like I said, their defense played great, but he couldn't make the throws they need to make, and they dropped some balls. They dropped some crucial balls in that game that should have been touchdowns.
You can't blame the quarterback for that.
Well, I mean, they're a team. They're a team at the end of the day, so he gonna get the blame. It's all about team. So the wide receivers gonna get the blame. He gonna get the blame too. It's just what it is.
Mustaf, who is from Yonkers, New York, he's new to Totem Pole. Mustaf says that the Baltimore Ravens head coach, John Harbaugh, sees something in Lamar Jackson. And have you ever been to Yonkers, New York, Howard Schotzky?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Let Mustaf know where you are originally from.
Jersey. How can you not see something in the MVP?
Great points made by great men. Now, the next thing I'm seeing here is the Houston Texans sign running back Cam Akers. Now, I didn't even know that Cam Akers played for the Minnesota Vikings. I thought he still played for the Rams. I mean, Lambo, is this a good pickup for the Houston Texans?
Yeah. It's a great pick. You got C.J. Stroud. You got D'Amico Ryans in the second year. Now, Houston Texans, they got probably the 5th toughest schedule in the NFL this year. It's a great pickup. You need that running back position. I know the running back position has devalued. I think they was in the running to get Saquon Barkley. That didn't work. So the Texans, they'll be fine. I like what Nick Caserio is doing. He was a former Patriots GM, and he's built that roster with D'Amico Ryans, and it's been great. So thanks to Lovie Smith for, I guess, losing that game a couple years ago or a year before. If they didn't get that win or loss or whatever, they wouldn't have had the number 1 pick to get C.J. Stroud. But, like I said, most NFL teams are stupid and really thought that Bryce Young was better than C.J. Stroud, even though NFL history says a lot of quarterbacks in Ohio State don't really make it, and some Alabama quarterbacks do. The Houston Texans picking up that running back Cam Akers. He was great with the Rams. He's done a lot of great things, but like I said, the running back position has devalued, and that's why the Giants. I don't know why the Giants are stupid and thought that Saquon Barkley won't go to the Eagles. Dumb GM decision from Hard Knocks, by the way. EA Sports Electronic Arts Madden NFL 25. It's a great addition, but the Texans have a lot tougher schedule than they did last year. They're the fifth toughest schedule, so I think they'll make the playoffs, but let's not hype them up just yet. It needs to be consistent. Howard, what do you think about it?
I agree.
Mike
All right,
Cherry.
Go ahead. You said Mike Cherry.
Yeah, Mike Cherry and Jake Paul. Howard, I haven't talked to you since the Mike Cherry and Jake Paul fight.
Mike Perry.
Mike Perry, I'm Mike Cherry. Thank you very much for correcting me. Was he a cherry the other night? Was Mike Perry a cherry against Jake Paul? Tell me the inside scoop.
Jake showed me a little something. He knocked him out. He fought well.
Wow. What do you think about in the Granite 617 in the ring with Jake Paul and Mike Perry, or his brother Logan Paul? Do you think In the Granite has a shot?
Depends on the cardio. You got a huge age difference there. So I'd be a little worried about the later rounds, but he claims there won't be any later rounds.
Yes. There it is right there. That's Mike Perry going down against Jake Paul. Mustafa gives a thumbs up. Lambo, I don't know if you follow the UFC and MMA like Howard. Howard has a passion for combat sports. Fill us in with what occurred this weekend in UFC and boxing, and what do we have to look forward to next weekend, Howard?
Oh, I haven't looked at the card yet, but I'm sure it'll be better than this week, because this week was a lot of 50-50 fights, but there were some good fights. It was a nice card.
If you look at the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Perry, that's like it's fixed. The fix is in. I mean that fight was a joke. I mean, you really thought that I think he's a former UFC guy, bare knuckle fighter, Mike Perry, whatever he is. You really thought he was going to beat. It's not only that he's not going to beat Jake Paul, but if you watch the technique of boxing, this man's legs was wobbly after the second, like after the first round. Like this is a joke, man. Like y'all really think that Jake Paul, and I respect Jake Paul. Like I don't respect the fighters he's been fighting. I don't respect him fighting Nate Robinson, a basketball player. I don't respect him fighting Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva and Ben Askren and Nate Diaz. And then he lost to a boxer and Tommy Fury, somebody that actually boxes. Like I don't know what all this Jake Paul hype is coming from. And then y'all think he gonna beat Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson's old and Coach Taylor said this in the past too. We gonna get on him for that. He really thinks that Jake Paul can beat him in some form of way. This happened on some life lessons like 2 months ago, maybe a month ago. But I know Mike Tyson is old, and I understand that. But when you look at the opponents of boxing and MMA are two different sports.
And Jake Paul against a real boxer, he's going to have some problems.
Money talks.
Exactly.
But, it's like I told you guys before the fight. Don't hit that minus 365 underdog, because they don't want Jake to lose. because then they lose that value for the next pay-per-view.
I mean, we know that money talks, but let's just be y'all fans need to be realistic here. Like Mike Tyson was in his prime. Like the problem with Jake Paul is he's not fighting guys in his prime. Like he's fighting guys that retired.
He's also not fighting real boxers.
Exactly. He's not fighting guys in his prime. Is he gonna fight Mike Tyson in his prime? Is he gonna fight Muhammad Ali in his prime? Floyd Mayweather in his prime? George
Mustafa
Foreman
stuff.
in his prime?
Mustafa said Jake should fight Canelo. Mike Tyson will knock out Jake in 2 rounds. Howard, what you think?
Jake Paul.
If Jake fought Canelo
He's not ready
Alvarez,
for Canelo.
you would see him get pieced up like a steak dinner.
He's not ready to fight Canelo. He's not ready to fight Canelo.
I
don't know why.
He doesn't want.
You don't want no piece of Canelo. You don't want no. If you, how do you want a piece of Mike Tyson, but you don't want a piece of Canelo? And then
Mike Tyson 60.
And then when you look at their press conference afterwards, they were talking about maybe they should fight in the MMA ring. Like Jake Paul would get murdered in the MMA ring. He would get murdered. MMA? Mixed martial arts?
Mustafa said cash cow. They're playing the game. Yes. Aren't they always playing the game? Howard knows the game because he's been in the game. What game are they playing, Howard? Is this new what they're doing? I mean, Conor McGregor even gets involved. Will we see Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul?
You see it in the UFC also. You know, they fight a bunch of, as Granite calls them, they fight a bunch of tomato cans to build that record up. And then, you know, now what is Jake Paul getting per fight? Millions. He's the highest paid boxer there is right now.
And he's a YouTuber.
And if he loses, the money train stops.
He's working. The money train stops. So they build him up to knock him down. And I think this is going to be the one right here that's going to make more money than Tyson versus Jake Paul. It's going to be Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. That's going to be after Mike Tyson, because that one right there, that's getting into the money, Mayweather money. I mean, we're talking about $100 million for one night. Mustafa says Canelo will never take the money from Jake. Do you agree with that, Howard? Canelo will never take the money from Jake.
Yeah,
I'll take the money.
Anybody that's got any respect from their career is not going to go in there and take a dive. And it's like Granite said, you know, Mike Perry's made enough money at this point. He didn't need to go down for him. And in my mind, you can't convince me that's not what's happening.
Conor McGregor fired Mike Perry the other night on Twitter. As a lawyer, is that possible, or is that just talk, Howard?
I know Mike Perry does train some people. I don't know if he trained Conor.
He fired him. He said, "You are fired." Is he under his promotion, Lambo? What is that all about?
Well, I guess it's more personal, but then you shouldn't lose to Jake Paul. That part of that, don't lose to Jake Paul, and part of it is probably some other things personal that hadn't came out yet. But I look at it from this standpoint. Jake Paul and Conor McGregor, that sounds good, but like I said, it's got to happen. That's been talked about for the last 3 years, and nothing has happened. So I'm surprised this Jake Paul Mike Tyson thing even worked. It was supposed to happen 2 nights ago, but that just wasn't the case. So like I said,
it hasn't happened yet. So don't, you know.
We'll see. I'm all about actions speak louder than words. All this talking sounds good, but I'm all about actions speak louder than words. So they fight. They don't. Who cares?
Lambo, I believe, talked about this yesterday, but I want to bring it up to Howard. ESPN the 4-letter network, came out on July 18th with the top 100 athletes of all time. And the number one athlete, Howard. Do you know who ESPN named to be the number one athlete since 2000? I'm sorry, since 2000.
No,
Did you hear this story?
I'm honest with you, I didn't even look at that list. You know, you got a lot of great athletes. People seem to be interested in the discussion of where they rank. I don't think it really matters, and you can't really compare someone who's the best in hockey to someone who's the best in football or basketball. Who's to say who's better? We're talking about different sports.
Mustaf said Mike Perry just got fired too, and Jake picked them. Well, Disney, a.k.a. ABC, a.k.a. ESPN, how much ownership does Connor have in the bare knuckle fight? Are you aware of that, Howard Shotsky?
Yeah, he has his own promotion, and so do some other fighters.
Do you like bare knuckle fights, Howard?
I mean, I prefer the UFC, but you know, I'd watch it.
You would watch it. Everybody likes to watch a good fight. The number one athlete, according to Disney, ABC, ESPN, is Michael Phelps. Howard, you've been around sports a long time. Is Michael Phelps, 28-time Olympic medalist, 23-time Olympic gold medalist, the greatest athlete since 2000? Michael Phelps.
No, see, I would disagree because he might be the most decorated Olympian of all time, but put him on a basketball court, put him on a tennis court. Let me see what kind of athletic ability he has other than swimming. And that's what I said. I think you can't compare people that are the best at what they do in different genres.
Lambo, I can't remember what you said yesterday. I mean, this list is all about building hype and making money on other sports and bringing promotion probably to the Olympics. Mustaf says thumbs up. Lambo, is Michael Phelps the greatest athlete this century?
No. The reason why I say no is because, I mean, why are we comparing guys that swim?
Well, I think it's all about clicks. I think it's all about clicks. It's all about views. If I had to guess.
Sports with track and swimming and football.
All right, you're breaking up a little bit. You got bad service, man.
He's got those earbuds in.
Yeah, it's pinging. But number 2, Howard, number 2 on the top 100 professional athletes since 2000. Number 2 is Serena Williams, 23-time major champion, second most by any player all time. Women's record, 365 major match wins, 73 career titles, are 5th most by a woman in the open area. Howard, how do you feel about Serena Williams being ranked number 2 now?
It's like I said,
yes, MMA, and you're right.
What makes Serena Williams a better athlete than, say, Simone Biles?
Well, Simone Biles is on the list, but
right.
I think it all goes back to clicks.
She's the greatest gymnast ever. Serena's the best tennis player ever. I don't think there's a comparison. made.
So I know one thing. This right here is going to upset some people. Serena Williams. I'm getting some feedback echo from somebody, but Lambo, how do you feel about Serena Williams being number 2 on the list?
That Serena being number 2 is pretty accurate to me. Serena's one of the best tennis players in all of the world, and her journey through tennis. So I'm not very surprised. The Williams sisters and whatever are up in the top 2. It makes sense to me. She's won multiple U.S. Opens, multiple Grand Slams. So look, her at number 2, I can't even argue with that right now.
Number 3 is going to upset some people, man. And is that my phone echoing?
It's not mine. Probably yours.
Check. Yeah, because I muted you. Now I don't hear it. Hold on. I'm going to mute you. Check. Yeah, it's you. Mustaf, it's all about the brand. Mustaf, no. Ha. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, on the ESPN Top 100. A lot of people's going to get in their feelings about this. And where's the man from Seoul? Is the man from Seoul hugging the pillow?
I was hugging that pillow. I got a good sleep in today.
That is amazing. That is great to hear. Number 3 on the ESPN Top 100 athletes since 2000, and this one's going to get a lot of people fired up. Mustaf said in the Women's League. Number 3 in the ESPN Top 100 is Leo Messi. Lionel Messi. So ESPN has ranked Messi above Ronaldo. And a lot of people are going to get in their feelings about this, but it says the 10-time La Liga champion, 7-time Copa del Rey winner, 4-time Champions League winner, 6-time Champions League top scorer, 17-time FIFA Pro World 11 World Cup winner, 2-time Copa winner, America winner, 2-time FIFA World Cup Golden Ball winner, 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, record goal scorer for Barcelona and Argentina. A lot of people are going to be upset about this. This guy transcends rivalries, even between Brazil and Argentina. Brazil legend Ronaldo said, we have a lot of discussions on here, and a lot of people get fired up when you start talking about Ronaldo or Messi. It sounds like the batter lineup at the Yankee Stadium. Amen. Lambo, they have picked Messi at number 3. Should Messi have been on the list before Ronaldo? Man from Seoul believes that Ronaldo is better than Messi, but ESPN says he's 3. And we're talking about the greatest of all time, Jim McNally, today.
We're talking about 2 different styles. These guys, Messi and Ronaldo, EA Sports, Electronic Arts, FC 24. Both of these guys. When you come to soccer, it's a team game, but both of these guys, have different styles of attacking, different styles of scoring. So it's a very hard comparison to me because they're the greatest at the sport, but then their game is so much different. Like they can impact the game in a certain way. They both can. Like one of them is a striker.
I think we lost him there.
I think we lost him. Lambo loves life lessons. He loves it. Number 4 on the list of the top 100 athletes of this century. And I would say this guy is the best of all the athletes, maybe one of the greatest athletes of all time. That is the one and only LeBron James. Howard Shotsky, do you believe that LeBron James deserved to be ranked number 4?
Not higher than Michael Jordan.
But since 2000, ESPN Top 100 athletes since 2000.
Yeah, since 2000, sure.
Should he have been ranked above Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, or Messi?
Like Lambo and I said, does it really matter?
Wow. What our resume. I know LeBron James has got a heck of a resume. It says all-time leading scorer next to his resume. Lambo, should LeBron James had been ranked higher than Messi and Serena Williams and Michael Phelps? Hey, Life Lessons Podcast. We love y'all. We will be doing another podcast later, live stream. We're going to go through all top 100 of these guys. All right. Howard, do you have any life lessons you want to impart on Totem Pole Nation today?
Yes, you might not want to go through the whole 100.
I may not want to go through the 100. Why is that, Howard?
People may stop listening.
People may stop listening. But do numbers lie, Howard, as my legal representation?
Oh, of course.
Numbers do lie.
You can use numbers to make things look good and make things look bad.
You can use numbers to make things look good and make things look bad. Mustaf, 2 different styles. So that's the life lesson, is numbers do lie. Jim McNally, the greatest offensive line coach of all time. This one was for you. Thank you for having me. Lambo, what life lesson would you like to impart on the Life Lessons crowd, the Totem Pole Nation crew today? Will Werner says, what's up? Will Werner. Will Werner. This is for you, Will Werner. Lambo, what message do you have for Totem Pole Nation? What life lesson do you have to impart on them today?
Take your day one day at a time and be consistent and do what you love doing. Because at the end of the day, you only live life one time.
L Cubes says hello. L Cubes, welcome to Totem Pole Nation. This is for you. Totem Pole Nation, we are the low man on the totem pole. We love y'all. We will be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m., Life Lessons, St. Pete Rejuvenate. We love y'all. Thank you for everything.